Good. There are a lot of places I would like to have seen, but I did all my traveling to China and Tibet twice, so
Yeah.
that's all combination of probably being able to afford and having time to do.
Yeah. No, I never did get to Tibet. That would have been nice. But I was just getting over a heart, stent placement, and the doctor said there's nothing wrong with going to Tibet, but if you get sick, you're not coming home.
Oh, that was nice.
So he said, stay in China. So I stayed in China.
Well, could have been true, or maybe not. I don't entirely trust what the Chinese say about Tibet. So
No.
it was, I have to say, it was really, in many ways, the highlight of both trips for me. Because I had such a sense of perhaps just wishing to have lived there before, or maybe I did.
Yeah.
And I really connected with the Tibetan people. They are such a lovely people.
Interesting. I found the same thing to be true of Mongolia,
Mm,
and a very peaceful time.
mm,
And just lovely people.
yeah.
I didn't like their yak milk, but
Can't have everything, Bill.
Canterbury.
Yeah, I found that true also of the Chinese people when I got way out in the country.
Yes, yeah, exactly. I mean, the Beijing is uptight, and spent a good deal of time out in the southwest in Yunnan, and that was completely different.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And we did the Silk Road also from the middle of the country out to the Uyghur territory, to
Ooh.
the far west.
Nice.
And that was, the Uyghurs certainly, they're paying their price, but they didn't like the Chinese. Didn't
No,
want
they
to
did
have
not.
anything to do with them.
Yeah. Morning, Jeff.
Good morning.
Morning.
Um, are you familiar with Elliot Pattison, the author?
No.
He writes books about Tibet, and actually at one point the main character goes up into the Uyghur territory in one of the books. I'll tell you.
Okay.
I'll tell you about it. It gives you. His books give you a unfortunate picture of contemporary Tibet, but also wonderful insights into the people in the country.
Yeah.
Combination of things.
Oh, are you going to Tibet? Is it? I know I'm coming in mid-conversation, but is that part of your trip?
No, he's not going to Tibet. I've
Yep.
been to Tibet twice.
That I know.
Yep.
But not for quite a while, I don't think, right?
No. Well, yes, I haven't been there since 2004.
Mm. Wow, time flies.
And there have been a lot of changes since then. So, anyway,
Yep.
so how are your wrists, hands, and fingers opening and closing?
For me, about the same. I haven't had a lot of time to put it into it this week, but what I did, I tried to focus on it, but I don't feel like I've advanced any since our class. I'm working on it though.
Okay. Yep.
I did get some practice in. I guess it's coming along. I feel some things. I can sit still. When I sit still, I can monitor my fingers much more easily than
Mm.
if I'm moving, certainly.
Mhm.
And the whole idea makes me want to open everything.
Mhm.
So I've been not working on that, but paying attention. I think
That's good to pay attention to it. Don't. We're going to work through the whole body
Yeah,
eventually
yeah,
here.
yeah.
So, in terms of specifics, but staying open to it, because you will find that as you continue to work on it, that your body does respond and things begin to open up and move in a different way.
Yeah.
So any other?
I probably should have done more of what Bill did, which is just I tried doing mine in the 8 gates, and also I probably should have just done more sitting work and focusing like that. That actually sounds like the wise thing to do right now.
But it's a good start.
Yeah,
It's a
I
good
need
place
do
to
that
start
week.
from. Yeah.
Yeah.
So any other questions or requests for today?
Nope.
Nothing for you.
I'm sorry?
Anything for you?
No.
Okay.
Everything completely under control.
I question that. Since I don't have everything under control.
I think the only thing you need to have under control is the fact that you know you don't have things under control.
Indeed. So we're going to look at pulsing the elbows. And there are a number of things that we have to consider if we're doing that. Certainly at the very beginning level, we simply start from being aware that we are opening it and closing it 100% in this movement. We know that's not the final thing, but the first thing is to do just that, to extend it as far as it will go and bend it in as far as it will go. It's just really becoming aware of that range of motion. But then the way in which you get an elbow joint to pulse is that you first have to open the energy joint slightly. And so this is something that I don't know that you can see on Zoom. If I open it a little bit, it's a very slight movement. It's obviously not going to be a big movement. It is definitely a release. It's definitely a release. Because if you simply push it out, that's still a physical movement, and it doesn't open up the joint. So by making it go back and forth, then you actually can pump the chi inside, or pulse the chi inside the elbow. So you don't do it from a completely slack joint, because that will not open and close the elbow joint actually. You first have to open the elbow joint and then only about 20 to 30%. You're not trying to open it even 70, but the joint itself, you're simply only opening about 20 to 30%, just a little bit. And then from there, you simply go into the 70%. 70% opening, 70% closed. So it's not a huge movement. You can begin with, after you open the joint slightly, with doing 100% just to feel that, so that you have a better sense of what is 70. So you do what works for you. So you have to open the joint slightly first to really get it to pulse. So you have to go through 2 stages with this. And the very first stage actually is getting your mind inside your elbow joint. And we have to get the mind inside the elbows. And so this, of course, is related to what we do in both Qigong and Neigong and Tai Chi, in which we talk about allowing or getting the mind to sink through the body. But here you're going to not only have it go through the body, but you want it to be very specifically focused into feeling the inside of the elbow. And then that's when you can get that opening of 20 or 30%. If you don't have the mind inside the joint, you're not going to really feel that 20 or 30%. And then you go into opening and closing. Now, once you have the elbow pulsing, you know what and where it is. So this really has nothing to do with bending and straightening the elbow. We really want to have a distinction here. Then you bend the elbow back 70%, You make it go forward 70%. And this usually, after a few times, the elbow will gradually engage, just as if you're using a water pump. The first couple of pumps, you don't get anything seeming to happen, and then all of a sudden something grabs and you can feel the water coming out. So once you do this, the elbow joint is going to feel like it is thickening, and that is the fluids compressing, and there is actually going to be more fluid around the elbow joint as you close. So you want to just start with feeling the joint getting thicker and releasing. And you can do it literally eventually with no distance or movement at all, or you can make it much bigger. But the first thing is just to open it up 20 or 30% and then pump it. This is because if you don't open it up first, you don't engage the system. However, the fact of the matter is that once you get how this is done, you don't have to do the 30% anymore. You'll be able to feel if you are changing the pressure. So start with just opening, extending the arm fully, bend it fully. So this is just with in other words a slack elbow joint, but you are finding the range of motion that elbow can move. And then bringing it back somewhere in the middle, and it could be almost anywhere really, as long as it's not out or in all the way. And you want to have your mind in that elbow and begin to just try to allow it to open a little bit. Just feel it release slightly. And then you're just going to pulse it 70% out and in, and just really try to be aware of what's happening inside the joint. Eventually there is a sense of thickening, of compression and release. And if you feel that you lose that, then you can always stop and let the arm relax and then open it that 20 or 30% again, and then continue. Really trying to find where that really opens and closes, and you feel the pressure of the fluids moving through your elbow. And obviously you want to do this eventually with both arms. Not necessarily together. You can continue doing one arm at a time, but eventually you do two arms together. But sometimes at the beginning it's easier to feel that opening and closing with just one at a time. And of course, eventually, ideally, if you can, you want to feel the opening and closing of the elbow begin to close and open the wrist, hand, and fingertips all the way out to the fingertips and all the way back from the fingertips through the elbow, so that you connect all of that opening and open entirely from the elbow to the fingertips. And remember, the hand has to move in order to open and close. Those metacarpals have to move a little bit. They don't have to move a lot, but you cannot open the hand if they don't move. So, questions there?
I've got a couple, but Bill, do you want to go first? Do you have any?
No, go ahead.
When you say, I'm wondering what, if anything, is the difference between mind intent that we normally use in all of our practice and putting our mind into our elbow, which you just referenced.
Significant.
Okay. Then I'm glad I asked. So what is that then?
Well, getting your mind into your body, or into your, in this case, specifically into the elbow joint, is really, this is a sense where the mind actually feels what is happening eventually throughout your entire body, but we want to particularly focus to the elbow, or to whatever part we are working on developing the ability to open and close. Mm-hmm. Because if we stay with the external, then we tend to just stick with primarily using the muscles, because we're not feeling what's happening inside the body. And mind intent has several levels of application and awareness, but it is really the mind addressing the overall intent of what you are doing, not just it's not just focused on feeling.
Well, I mean, just to use a specific example of our elbow, when my mind intent is to move the elbow, it's to focus on just letting go and letting the energy move it as much as I can now, and developing that ability is to let the energy do it. That's my intent, and that's what I'm focused on. Relaxing, letting the energy flow. I think I see a bit of a difference between what you're saying and what that is. It's even more intense and more in one area, in one specific thing.
It's more specific, yes.
Okay. I just want to
Because
understand it.
using the mind inside the body is trying to recognize and be aware of what you're doing.
Right.
Mind intent is directed towards causing something to happen.
Okay.
And the ability to get the mind inside the body and begin to open makes using the mind intent much easier.
Okay.
Is that
Well, what I'm interpreting that is that I'm using the mind intent as part of having my mind inside the elbow. But once I begin with that intent of doing that with the elbow, I remain there with my mind and just experience what is happening with my mind.
yeah?
So it's taking it further than just intent.
I think of it in the opposite way, but that's all right.
In the opposite way.
Well, I think the mind intent is more important in the long run than simply getting your mind inside your body so that you can feel what's happening. And also, if we really get into this discussion, okay, mind intent is not eventually coming from your mind. It is coming from the heart mind. And that's not conscious intent.
But when that happens, does it still begin with conscious intent or no? Just heart mind awareness.
Well, it's part of the transition. You have to be aware of your conscious mind before you can become aware of your subconscious or any other level.
Do you equate the subconscious mind with like an intuitive mind?
Yeah, it's a little difficult. The Chinese concepts are not
One-to-one.
always directly equivalent to our Western words.
Yeah, that's why I'm trying to translate them in my own mind to try and understand them a little more clearly.
Well, yeah, that's good to a point, but that's not what we're trying to focus on.
Okay.
You have to be careful of not getting too involved with thinking about, but simply being aware of.
Well, that's what I call my intuitive mind and awareness, is just whatever's happening, I let it happen. I don't necessarily think about it, don't necessarily try and begin something consciously. I just feel what's happening.
Uh-huh. It's it's not necessarily easy subject.
No, that for sure. I'm sure that 5 different people will have 5 different comments to make on it, probably.
Yes, and the problem is that there's a lot of work before you actually begin to be aware of the heart mind, and
Yeah.
and I can ask Bill about this because in the Gods class, which is in its 5th year, it has at least talked a little bit about using reverse breathing and the movement of the energy inside the body to become aware of the heart mind. And that, I don't know to what extent you may feel you've managed to do any of that.
I haven't worked on the heart mind enough, obviously, but
There's so much that needs to be accomplished before you can possibly
work on it.
feel the heart mind, be aware, not feel, but be aware.
I do have a question, probably about perception.
Mhm.
When we talk about opening and closing, and practice it, the movement seems to be out, but I'm thinking that the word open means open both ways. And the energy may be moving out, but it's also obviously moving back at the same time. So
It's a matter of focus.
a focus. Okay.
You're right, the energy is always moving in both directions simultaneously. However, you have to choose to focus one way or another.
Okay.
So, and one is more predominant than the other as a rule. At least, particularly when we're endeavoring to apply it. Well, I think I've told you this, but I'm not sure. When I came out of the cave on Mount Hua, the master, his name escapes me, but his picture is on the wall, gave me a Chinese name, Hong Xin, which means constant heart mind. And as he explained it to me, he felt that I was on the right path, but that it was a path that you had to keep focusing on forever.
Well,
So-
David, how would you describe or define the best you can in words what the heart mind is?
Well, you have to start with understanding that the Chinese and actually, they think of the heart as being able to not only have emotions, but to be able to think, if you will. And the heart actually has more cells of comprehension than the brain does. And so for them, the concept, which principally developed by the Taoists, is that you eventually comprehend and act from a combination of impulses from both. It's kind of a superficial,
Right.
but their sense is that you, if you are trying to, when you are trying to plan or direct yourself to do something, that comes from the mind. And when you reach the level of being able for it to be simply happening because it should be happening at that moment, it comes from the heart or from a combination of them. So it's not, the heart is more of a I'm losing a word here that I want. Well, I think I pretty much have said it. The mind is thinking, and the heart is doing from internal comprehension.
So we are probably, in most things we do, living right now off of some combination of the two, but we're just not necessarily very aware in our way of living and thinking of the heart-mind's influence.
Yep, I guess you could say that.
You know, I mean,
It could be.
probably most people are different in their, you know, how much of one versus the other influences their lives.
Most people are coming from their mind,
Yeah,
primarily.
right. But I would think that, you know, as we work on this more in life and in our awareness and all that, that level that comes from the heart mind and influences our lives in many different ways increases, even whether we realize it outwardly or not.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of inherent in our practice, that you're at least moving in that direction.
Right.
But it's not until you get pretty deeply into Neigong that you actually are able to begin to be aware of the heart mind.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what I'm pretty much trying to say is it's working even though we don't know that it's working.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Good discussion. Thank you.
You said you had 2 questions.
The other was when you are saying you're pulsing from the elbow, where are you actually feeling the pulsing once you do get it going through the elbow?
In the elbow joint.
Are you
and-
feeling it? Because I'm feeling the pulsing up through my fingers when I do that.
If you've made the connection, yes, it will go all the way from the joint through your should go through your fingertips and out into your etheric body and back in.
I'm
But
not feeling it in the forearm so much, but I am feeling it in the ends of the fingers going on out.
then you're not opening fully, because you should feel it through the forearm, through the wrist. You should feel the wrist opening and closing.
Yeah, no, I'm sure I'm not opening fully yet. This is, you know, just what we've done so far, but I mean, at least I'm feeling something, and I just,
Yeah.
when I know that I'm improving upon this, where I should be probably feeling it.
I think there's no place you should be, Jeff. I think that we put so much focus on being aware of the energy going out the fingertips and back in the fingertips that we just aren't even aware of the other movement of the energy sometimes.
Yeah, it could be.
And so one of the things with opening and closing in particular is you're trying to begin to be able to feel consistently the constant movement through the entire body. Which isn't easy. So.
Okay, well, that was my second question.
Okay. Did you have? Anything else?
No.
That sounds like
Well,
sort of.
no, it's no. My mind is always going, and probably 137 things occurred to me while we were talking. But
Well, that's fine. I nothing you want to bring up at the moment.
That amounts to a question. Yeah,
Okay.
so.
Yes, Jeff.
Oh no, I'm just listening.
Oh, okay.
I didn't even realize I was shaking my head, but yeah, I think I was just agreeing with what Bill was trying to say. So, yep, I think so.
Yeah. So one of the things that I will say is that while the process of becoming aware of the elbow joint opening and closing in all of its positions is similar, it's not absolutely identical. And so I will next week be talking about the fact that the elbow doesn't stay 90 degrees to the ground all the time. It is at 45 and turn to the side and hand pointing to the ground. It's in all kinds of positions. And we have to be able to open and close in all of them, not just when it's aimed directly at the earth. So when you are doing the 8 gates and endeavoring to be aware of the elbow joint opening and closing, don't be surprised if you find that it's easier in some positions than others at the moment. So do the 8 gates and see if you can. Really, one of the things I would say is don't just jump to elbow to fingertips. Try to be sure that you have the elbow joint opening first and then feel it flowing all the way. Or not only staying with the elbow joint. There's no rush. If you feel the elbow joint clearly opening and closing, and they have a sense of thickening or of movement of compression of fluids, then that's fine. Move on. So what did you feel there?
There was one spot, can't even tell you where it was, that I sort of lost control of my body, where my body was taken away by, energy or something.
Mm-hmm.
For a half a second, I didn't exactly know what to do with myself. Otherwise, I thought it was a good flow through that, and I was happy about the coordination between the twisting and the opening and the closing and the,
Mm-hmm.
so.
Yeah. Was your elbow movement was good in all of them except this one. And in this one, the elbows did not circle.
Okay.
I was kind of
Well,
interested
they
in,
just moved back and up and down. Huh?
yeah,
Yeah, okay.
because otherwise you were very consistent with that. So did you feel like your elbows were opening and closing?
The only way I can, yes, I just have, there's no measuring stick to apply to the darn thing. So I know that they are more open than they were a year ago or half a year ago.
Mm-hmm. Did you feel any sense of pressure building up in your elbows?
No, but I'm not sure I was paying attention to that. I did feel more energy moving through the limbs,
Mm-hmm. That's good.
and if anything, I was paying attention to that, but not the thickening of the fluids. Just not aware of it. Yeah.
Yeah. You don't have to search for it, but it certainly is a good thing to be open to recognizing when it happens. Because when it does, it's when you really are beginning to effectively open and close the elbow.
Okay.
Because it's that the building of the pressure there, because it releases the fluids, it releases the blood, it releases all the fluids in the body, and of course when you're just doing the elbow, it's working primarily in that area eventually, but it does affect all the other fluids in the body, and it becomes more apparent as you get more opening and closing to function. So it's a good measure of whether you whether you really are getting the opening and closing to be effective. Yeah. How did you do, Jeff?
Well, now that I've had a few minutes to think about it, it was initially I was trying to think of, I actually had an experience kind of like Bill. I was trying to think about how to say it, but I know which posture it was. It was only in one posture, but it was in Zen, where I felt just totally being moved all around energetically, just not for the first one, but I did 3 more, I think, after that, because it felt so good. That was pretty good. A nice experience.
Yeah.
And
Good.
I felt in particular in that one that my elbows were just sort of flowing open and closed, and that was much the best posture in that flow for me. But the flow as a whole, it felt generally more smooth than usual. Best way I can say it. I did not feel any pressure or weight or anything as you were asking, Bill. I wasn't really thinking about it, but I definitely didn't feel it. Maybe if I focus on it, I might start to, but I didn't in that one. But that was what I'm taking away from this, is that I stuck pretty well to being focused on the elbow and the relaxed movement and all of that throughout. And the whole thing felt pretty good, but that Jen in particular felt really good.
Mm-hmm. Good. So being focused on the elbow obviously is only a stage of practice. Eventually, you're simply aware of what's happening in the entire body. You're not focusing on one joint at a time. So that focus is kind of necessary in the early stages, just so that it helps you be really aware that you're actually doing it. And then as you move on, eventually it's a matter of being aware of what's happening through the entire body, because just like every other element of our practice, you ideally are doing it without having to think about it. So, blah, blah, blah. So, I think I may have said this, but I don't remember if I did, and I will just say that it's probably pretty hard for you to not want to dabble in it, but I suggest that you don't really spend much time trying to open and close in the form at this point. Because that's one of the reasons we focus on the 8 gates or on the dynamic sphere, which we haven't done yet in this class, but it will appear again. So I just throw that out. So, any particular questions in the form? Where? I don't remember. Oh, we focused principally at you last week, didn't we?
With Jeff. Yeah.
What?
With Jeff. Yeah.
Oh, I did?
Yeah.
Oh, so it's
I did a flow. Yeah, I did a flow last week, and I think we ran out of time, right?
Oh, right. Okay. I knew we did one of you. So let's do a flow, and I will focus on Bill.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to flow also while he does that.
Please do.
We shall see. I haven't done much this week. I got a bad back.
Ooh. Is this not a good idea?
I think I may get tipsy every once in a while, and depending on.
Well, don't do what's not appropriate.
Yeah. Yeah.
good stuff there. Were you aware that in pull down you weren't pulling anything down? I didn't remember you doing it that way before. So when we've been in single whip and we shift and we touch and we step back, and notice that my hands are here, so that as I go back I pull down. Your hands were here
Yeah.
and you pulled across.
Okay.
The other thing I think that really good for you to, and this may be partially due to your back today, but to be really aware of making sure that the body is moving when the arms are moving. Even right at the very beginning, your tendency is to step and throw the arms up. Also in single whip to do the same kind of thing. So you want to really try to tune into what's happening here. This is causing me to twist and bend and stretch, and this is making my hands and arms come up, so that the movement keeps going.
I understand.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's just practice, and not just simply flowing, but really kind of breaking it down into little sections that you can, do 2 or 3 times instead of a flow.
Yeah.
And just
Okay.
really focus on what's happening with my body. But I think your back was affecting some other
Well,
places.
it was. Yeah, I was
Yeah.
being overprotective, and of course.
Well, that's good. No, that's good.
Yeah.
Wave hands was quite good, I thought. Keeping the ball rolling and expanding and contracting, and I guess my only question there was, as you're coming back in, do you go toe and heel? Do you get that toe movement?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not. It hasn't been big for a while.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I suppose the other thing I might mention too is, and I think this may have had to do with your back, but being careful that you don't come up like this. For instance, you did that here, and it's unstable for one thing.
Okay.
So you really need to have the toe back there so that you can get the roundness in that movement and then come up. That's enough.
Okay.
I think. You have any questions?
No. I mean, I was aware of places where I, didn't feel comfortable doing it the way I normally do it. So
Yeah.
I didn't.
Well, when your back is,
Yeah. I slipped getting out of a bathtub. In a hotel room,
oh God.
The bath mat went like that, and my back went, oops, So it shows up, and then it goes away, and it pulls a little bit, and it doesn't pull a little bit,
And they didn't have anything to hold on to when you were coming
I
up?
was holding on to it because there was a sign saying, "Be careful," the tub. So I was holding on, but the bath mat just went like that, and I didn't fall or anything. I
Yeah.
had one leg
But-
still in the tub, and I was holding onto the bar, but
Yeah, that
that
move.
action,
Yeah.
it was-
Don't do it again. You'd have to demonstrate that. You have any particular questions
No, not right now.
based on what we worked on?
No, I did just play around. During that flow, I did play around a bit with the elbows opening and closing. So,
Yep.
just see what it was like. So, good.
Okay. Well, I think I'll let you go on that note. Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good week.
Yeah. You
A
too.
good 3 weeks.
3 weeks, yeah.
We're not
I'll
gonna-
be away for the next 2, so you get private lessons.
Okay. Well, and actually, I have to talk to you about scheduling. I plan to be here next week, unless something unexpected happens. I will be here next week. It's very unlikely that I will be here for the 26th.
Okay.
Following week, and I'm definitely gone the next two, which is the 2nd and the 9th. That's the California trip.
Yeah, yeah.
Bringing Jesse and Kate out there. So
Okay.
I'm definitely going to be not here on the 2nd and the 9th. Very likely not the 26th because there's just so much happening at that point. I don't know, Jesse's getting out of school and I've got excess workload and Kate's got excess workload and a lot of stuff. So I'm leaning towards not. I will let you know for sure, but just so you can, if you have anything you want to schedule on that day, since Bill's not going to be here, feel free to schedule it because I'm probably not going to be able to make that class anyways.
Yeah. Oh, well, just let me know.
I will, but I will definitely be here next week, and I might have a better feel for it next week when I see it.
Yeah. Yeah. Kind of see where you are.
Yeah, I just want to give you a heads up for your own planning purposes.
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
very good. Bill, have a great trip if you're still there.
No, he's gone.
He's gone. Okay. All right. Well, I will see you next week then, David, for a private lesson. I'll try and come
Okay.
with some questions.
All righty. Yeah, write them down.
Yeah, good idea. What a concept.
Okay, buddy. Take care. Bye.